अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय। नामाचार्य श्री हरिदास ठाकुर की जय। प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर शिवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय। श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्यामा कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय। मथुरापुरी धाम की जय। जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय। गंगा माई जमुना माई की जय। तुलसी देवी भक्ति देवी की जय। श्याम वेद भक्त वृंद की जय। गौर प्रेमानंदे हरि हरि। All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories to assembled devotees.
Hare Krishna.
All glories, all glories, all glories to Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga.
Hare Hare Bol.
नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्ण पृष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिनिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देश तारिणे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय।
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 नारायणं नमस्कृत्यं नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यास ततो जायमुदीरये। शृण्वतां स्वकथः कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवण कीर्तन हृद्यन्तस्थो हि अभद्राणि विदनोति श्रोहसतां नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्ठिकी। So thank you very much for joining Srimad Bhagavatam class today, and today we are reading Canto 1, Chapter 9, entitled The Passing Away of Bhishmadev, and text number 19. I will recite it 3 times, and then you can recite it, please. Asyanubhavam Bhagavana Veda Guhya Tamam Shivaha Devarshir Naradaha Shakshad Bhagavana Kapilo Nripa. Asyanubhavam Bhagavana Veda Guhya Tamam Shivaha Devarshir Naradaha Shakshad Bhagavana Kapilo Nripa. Asyanubhavam Bhagavana Veda Guhya Tamam Shivaha Devarshir Naradaha Shakshad Bhagavana Kapilo Nripa. Please recite.
Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guhyatamam Shiva Devarshi Narada Sakshad Bhagavan Kapilo Nripa.
Hare Krishna. Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guhyatam Sivaha Devarsi Narada Sakshad Bhagavan Kapilo Nripa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Go ahead, Prabhu.
Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guhyatamam Shiva Devarshi Narada Sakshad Bhagavan Kapilo Nrupa. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guhyatamam Shivaha Devarsir Naradaha Sakshad Bhagavan Kapilo Niripa. Hare Krishna, thank you.
Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guhyatamam Shiva Devarshir Narada Sakshat Bhagavan Kapilo Nripa.
Hare Krishna. Asyanubavan Bhagavan Veda Guyatamam Shiva Devarshi Narada Shakshat Bhagavan Kapilo Nripa.
Bhakti Ian?
Hare Krishna. Oh, you can do. I'm sorry.
Aslesha Bhagavan Veda Guhitama Shiva Deva Rishi Narda Slakshad Bhagavan Kapilo Nripa.
Anyone else?
Hare Krishna.
Good.
Asyanubavam Bhagavan Veda Guyatamam Swaha Devarshi Narada Sakshad Bhagavan Kapilo Nirva. Hare Krishna. Thank you.
Asyanubhavam Bhagavan Veda Guhyatamam Shiva Devarishir Narada Sakshat Bhagavan Kapilo Nripa.
So I will read the word-to-word translation. Asya, of him. Anubhavam, glories. Bhagavan, the most powerful. Veda, knows. Guhyatamam, very confidentially. Shiva, Lord Shiva. Devarishi, the great sage among the demigods. Narada, Narad, Shakshat, directly. Bhagavan, the personality of Godhead. Kapila, Nripa, O king. Translation by purport by Srila Prabhupada ki jai. O king, Lord Shiva, Narada, the sage amongst the demigods, and Kapila, the incarnation of Godhead, all know very confidentially about his glories through direct contact. The pure devotees of Lord or all bhavas are persons who know the glories of Lord in different transcendental loving service. As the Lord has innumerable expansions of his plenary form, there are innumerable pure devotees of the Lord who are engaged in exchange of service of different humors. Ordinarily, there are 12 great devotees of the Lord, namely Brahma, Narad, Shiva, Kumar, Kapil, Manu, Prahlad, Bhishma, Janak, Sukadeva Goswami, Bali Maharaj, and Yamraj. Bhishma Dev, although one of them has mentioned only 3 important names of the 12 who know the glories of the Lord. Sri Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, one of the great Acharya in the modern age, explains that Anubhava, or the glory of the Lord, is first appreciated by the devotee in ecstasy, manifesting the symptoms of perspiration, trembling, weeping, bodily eruptions, etc., which are further enhanced by steady understanding of the glories of the Lord. Such different understandings of bhava are exchanged between Yashoda and the Lord, binding the Lord by ropes. And in the chariot driving by Lord, in the exchange of love with Arjuna, these glories of the Lord are exhibited in his being subordinate before his devotees. And that is another feature of the glories of the Lord. Sukadeva Goswami and Kumaraj, although situated in the transcendent position, become converted by another feature of bhava and turned into pure devotees of the Lord. Tribulations imposed on the devotees by the Lord continues another exchange of transcendental bhava between the Lord and the devotees. The Lord says, I put my devotees into difficulty, and thus the devotee becomes more purified in exchanging transcendental bhava with me, placing the devotees into material troubles necessitates delivering him from illusory material relations. The material relations are based on reciprocation of material enjoyment, which depends mainly on material resources. Therefore, when material resources are withdrawn by the Lord, the devotee is 100% attracted towards the transcendental loving service of the Lord. Thus, the Lord snatches the fallen soul from the mere of material existence. Tribulations offered by the Lord to his devotees are different from the tribulations resulting from vicious actions. All these glories of the Lord are especially known to great Mahajans like Brahma, Shiva, Narad, Kapil, Kumar, and Bhishma as mentioned above, and one is able to grasp it by their grace. Om Gyan Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurulmitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namah Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya Kripa Sindhubhye Vacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha. Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So thank you very much for giving this great opportunity to glorify Srimad Bhagavatam, because Srimad Bhagavatam's each word, gives us presence of Lord Krishna, gives the glories of Lord Krishna. So we have to hear it every single day and try to follow the instructions of the Lord and follow his great devotees, like Mahajans, which is described in this shloka. So here, this shloka and yesterday's shloka and the shloka we are going to read tomorrow, all these shloka are actually, in these shlokas, Bhishmadev is glorifying the position of Lord Krishna. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Yesterday's shloka was explained by Dronacharya Prabhu very nicely. And today he's saying in this shloka, is glorifying the Lord, saying the Mahajans knows his glory, actually Lord's glory. So there are actually, Prabhupada is giving 12 Mahajans, which we discussed yesterday also, but they are great souls, so their name, we should actually remember them. So it's a Swayambhur, which is the Brahmaji, Narad Muni, and Shambhu, which is the Lord Shiva. And the Kumaraha, that 4 Kumaras, Kapilo, Muni, Kapilo, and Muna is the Swayambhu Manu. Prahlado, Janako, Bhishma, Prahlad, Janak, Bhishma. Bhishma Dev is telling, like he's telling these words in this shloka to Yudhishthir Maharaj. And Bali, which is Bali Maharaj, and Vyasakir, which is the Sukdev Goswami, and Vayam means I. And who was telling this shloka is Yamraji to Yamdutas. So these are the 12 Mahajans. Out of those 12 Mahajans, in this shloka only 3 Mahajans are described that they know the glory of the Lord Shiva, Lord Shiva, Devarshi Narad, and the Kapil Muni. So actually, why somebody may ask, why these only three are described? Because all Mahajans are great souls and they all knew glory of Lord Krishna. But these 3 especially mentioned here because Lord Shiva and the Narada and Kapila Muni, they were in the more touch with each other. So that's why, like Kapil Muni, he is the incarnation of Lord himself, and Narad Muni, he travels all around the world and meets Lord so many times. He's also he knows even the heart of Lord, what Lord wants to do. So he knows his man. So that's why he's great. And Lord Shiva also all the time in constantly meditating on Lord. So these 3 great souls knows the glory of the Lord. And it doesn't mean actually that other Mahajans were not knowing the glory of Lord. They all knew that Lord is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and we should all worship him with full heart and serve him. That's why they are Mahajans, because they were serving the Lord with all their hearts. So here, Srila Prabhupada is saying that devotees in ecstasy, manifesting the symptoms of perspiring, trembling, weeping, bodily eruptions, etc. So there are so many symptoms. This is the Ashtasattvic bhav actually, when some great devotee, gets, because it's not very easy, like everybody cannot get this Ashtasattvic bhav. Only great souls, can get this kind of bhav. It's a very elevated stage of devotional service, So there are in Chaitanya Charitamrita, these all Ashtasattvic bhav were presented by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu himself, because he was acting as a devotee. And when he saw just the Lord Jagannath, he went to temple of Lord Jagannath, he saw Jagannathji, and suddenly he fell down, in ecstasy. So these all Ashtasattvic bhav were seen by a devotee there, and then he remembered that these are the bhav, so he may be a great soul actually. So these symptoms are actually istamba. Istamba means body turns in stiff like a stick, like a pillar. So that kind of stiffness comes in the body. And second is swed. Swed is sweating profusely and perspiring. So that's why Prabhupada is saying that perspiration is one of the symptoms, when the Ashtasattvic bhav starts. Then romanch, there is goosebumps, or we can say the hair stands on the end, all over the body. Then swarabhed, the voice quivers or changes. So because like we see when Lord came in front of Aditi, Lord Vishnu came in front of Aditi, she could not speak, her words were like quivering so much. So this is the one of the stage. Then Vaipathu. Vaipathu means body shivers in extreme love. Then Vavarna, the complexion turned pale. It drained all the blood. If the blood is taken away from the body, it gets pale of blue color, so that is the condition happens. And then Ashru, there is so much shedding of the tears. And Aditi was, when Lord came in front of her, the tears were coming profusely from her eyes. And then Pralay. Pralay is sowing and falling unconscious. So people can, devotees can fall unconscious on the floor, on the ground. So these are the different 8 stages of Ashtasattvic bhav. And this Ashtasattvic bhav comes in the person when they are in great love with the Lord, Supreme Lord. And when we see the Lord, they suddenly, that condition happens to them. So now, mostly in this shloka, actually all the glories of the Lord, Supreme Lord, is described. And the Lord is saying here in this shloka that, and Prabhupada is explaining that in the purport, that tribulations actually coming in the devotee's life all the time by the Lord himself. This is one of the exchange actually of transcendental bhav. Lord reciprocates with his devotees. So Lord actually says that I put my devotee in a difficulty. Purposefully he does it. And thus the devotee becomes more purified. He wants devotee to become more purified. So he tests them actually that he actually have full faith in me or not. So sometimes Lord puts, not sometimes, many times, Lord put devotees into trouble. And we have seen so many examples in Bhagavatam that how Lord put his devotee into trouble. We can see Queen Kunti and all the Pandavas, they were so related to Lord Krishna and they were so friendly to Lord. But we can see all their life, how much they suffer and the given trouble by the Kauravas. So devotees actually, Lord checks them, and sometimes gives them tribulations in their life. And but this is for purification of the devotee itself, and the Lord does it purposefully also. And we see in this material world, all the difficult situations comes beyond control in everyone's life actually. And even in the lives of devotees also, we see there is so much tribulations in the life. Devotees it's not like devotees are always happy, they get so much trouble, but they have full faith in Krishna and they are not bewildered by those difficulties actually. Why these tribulations comes? So Lord Krishna says in Canto 1, Chapter 8, and in the 4th number text, he says that while Krishna was discussing this question with Yudhishthira Maharaj and the Munis, he says the stringent laws of the Almighty and their reactions upon living beings. So, however, it is Krishna who is the Almighty Lord. Even when he sets universal laws, so one must actually completely accept everything what is happening. And Vishwam Pitama is telling the same thing to Yudhishthira Maharaj actually here, that whatever happens by Krishna's will, actually we should accept it without any difficulty, not thinking why this thing happened to me or why that thing happened to me. I'm chanting for so many years, or I'm doing prayers to so many years, or doing worshipping the Lord and doing this thing or doing that thing. We should never say that, but rather the best thing for us to accept it as it is, as Krishna's will, and without any argument. But why would Krishna sanction suffering for his great devotees? So many people ask this question, why Krishna gives difficulty to his, because devotees are his own people. Krishna loves all the devotees. Krishna, although he is equal to everyone, all the jiva souls, but he is especially very favorable to the devotees, because devotees always remember Krishna and chant his name, glorify him. So Krishna actually likes them because they are the good sons. There are good sons and bad sons. So devotees are the good sons of Lord. So that's why Lord's actually gives his love to them especially. So Sri Prabhupada once attributed such suffering simply to the nature of the material world. Because Prabhupada several places, he said that this is the material nature, we should expect all the tribulations and troubles in this material world. This is dukkhalayam ashashvatam. So there is no hope that we will be getting all good time always. This will never happen, because this is place of suffering. Because of this material world, even Krishna's mother was put into difficulty by her own brother Kansa, Mother Devaki. We know that Kansa was his cousin, but as soon as he heard that eighth child of her, Devaki, will be cause of Kansa's death. So that way, he immediately, pull out his sword and trying to kill his sister. But somehow the other, Devaki's husband Vasudeva, he actually pacified him. So this is the material nature, how people get angry right away and trying to kill each other like that. Because this is the nature of this material world. Krishna is, although Almighty God, he has plan for everyone, each and every one of us, Krishna has the plan for all of us. And like devotees actually should not expect life free of troubles in this material world. So because many times, is our thinking, that if people will suffer more, if we think, that our life will be nice and flat life, with full of joy. If we think like that, and then even a small trouble comes, we feel so bad. But if we actually have because expectation makes us really bad. Expectation, we should have very low expectation that I will be happy in this material world. Actually, we should expect that troubles will come, tribulations will come in our life. Then if some time trouble comes, then we are ready for that. We are prepared for that. So we should expect that trouble will come. Like we know even the Haridas Thakur, he was so great devotee, Mahabhagavat, but still in 22 marketplaces, he was beaten by the whips. So we can imagine, that devotees also get so much trouble, and the Lord allows it, just to purify the devotees, for the benefit of the devotees. And we can see the example of Jesus Christ and his disciples. Many of them were crucified actually. So we can see, although they were devotees, but they had extreme tribulations in their life. But they were remaining free from anxiety in this, and they accepted Krishna is the supreme controller, and whatever is actually he's giving, that's wonderful, and we should take it as such. In this whole world, we should take it as that this is moving, everything happening by Krishna's desire actually. Even Krishna himself actually gets surprised by the working of this material nature. But how it is possible? Because Krishna knows everything, If he gets surprised, that means, that can God not know something in this material world? Because God knows everything. Lord Krishna knows everything. So how he gets surprised by the happenings in this material world? If he does not know everything, can he enjoy surprise or an interesting turn of the events? If not, is he lacking something? That's why many people, especially the atheistic, will question. If he does not know everything, they will say, if he does not know everything, then how he is God? So these things are very mysterious actually. Krishna, although knows everything, but he himself takes Yog Maya. So that way Krishna can enjoy more in this material world. If he knows Yashoda Maya is my devotee, Radha, then how he will get scared by his mother Yashoda's stick? He will never get scared. So actually, and how he can play with his friends, all the Gopas, they were jumping on his back, and they said, Krishna, you have to give me rides to that place. Like that, nobody can pay it. If Krishna knows that I'm Supreme Personality of Godhead, then he can enjoy the different rasas, the Sakya ras, Madhuri ras, all those, he can never enjoy those things, So Krishna orders Yog Maya, that way he can forget all these things, So it's not like Krishna is lacking something. Krishna is Purna Purushottam. He knows everything what is going on, but purposely he does it, so he can enjoy the different rasas with the different devotees and in different bhav. So that is given in this verse actually. So what stops one from becoming distressful in this world? And the faith in Krishna goes away. What makes a devotee like that? So actually, a devotee is confident of Krishna's affection, his nourishment, his guardianship. One has to have full faith in Krishna. So Jiva Goswami actually, we can see in the Bhakti Sandarbha, he is saying that the act of accepting Krishna is one's personal shelter, is synchronous with Sharanagati. If we take full shelter of Krishna, full Sharanagati, then actually Krishna promises, like Krishna promises in Bhagavad Gita to Arjuna, Kantaya Pratijanehi Name Bhaktya Pranashati. O son of Kunti, declare boldly that my devotees will never perish. So that kind of actually confidence is needed in the devotee, that whatever happens to me, Krishna will protect me. And that way, Krishna's mercy will be on us all the time. And that way we can have full faith in Krishna. So actually in this shloka, there's a lot of glories are given. So I will read from Mukundamala Stotra, which is actually spoken by King Kulshekara, which is one of the Alvars. Alvars were the great devotees of the Lord, and they sang the glories of the Lord. So in the text number 3 of Mukundamala, he's saying that all glories unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as Son of Devaki. All glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who is known as the light of the dynasty of Vrishni. So he took birth in the dynasty of Vrishni. All glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose bodily luster is like that of a new cloud, Ghanashyam, and whose body is as soft as lotus flower. All glories to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, who appeared on this planet to deliver the world from the burden of the demons, and who can offer liberation to everyone. So Krishna actually comes to this material world just to actually have rasa with his devotees and to liberate, take us back, reclaim back to Vaikuntha Lok. Actually, he wants to take to spiritual world, to all, each jiva soul. But jiva souls actually has turned their face against the different face towards material world, actually, not looking at Krishna. So once we turn towards Krishna, once we take the devotional service, we definitely get mercy of the Supreme Lord. In Bhagavad Gita, actually, you can see that Bhagavad Gita is spoken instructions for, he's giving instruction to Arjuna what to do. So the Bhagavad Gita is just kind of manual to this mankind, actually, and it's not for Arjuna. Arjuna was his pure devotee and his friend, but this is for each and every one of us, actually, in this material world. That excuse me. So this Bhagavad Gita, actually, Lord spoke not to Arjuna, but for all of us, so we all can get purified in this material world. Whenever we need any help, any question we have in the life, Bhagavad Gita has answer to all, each and every question. So we should take shelter of Bhagavad Gita and get the answers. Take the shelter. Bhagavad Gita says that we have to have the spiritual master and take his instructions very seriously. And so we have to follow that. Most of us are already initiated, but we have to learn how to follow the instructions properly of the spiritual master, not deviated of what the spiritual master orders, what he has given instructions to us. So that thing is very important. And Lord actually purifies the devotees when he puts us in the difficulty. So we should actually understand clearly what is the real position, transcendental position of Lord Krishna and how he reciprocates with his devotees. Like he's reciprocated with so many devotees, and he loves his devotees so much that sometimes he takes his lower position, actually. Like for Arjuna, he became Partha Sarthi, he became chariot driver for Arjuna. So that's his greatness, actually. It's not like Krishna is inferior to anybody. Krishna says in Chaitanya Charitamrita, Ekele Ishwar Krishna, aur sab bhratya. So Krishna is the only controller. Ishwar means he's the controller, he's master of all the jivas and entire cosmos. So he's master of everything. He has all 6 appearances in full. So we have to take Krishna like that he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Krishna says, Aham sarvasva prabhavo mata sarvam pravartate iti matva bhajante mam buddha bhava samanvita. I am the source of all material world as well as spiritual world. And everything emanates, comes from him, actually. And he's saying the wise man who perfectly knows this, he engages in the devotional service with all their hearts. So we have to do devotional service. We perform devotional service, but we have to do it with all our hearts. Like, it's not like we are doing it as a duty that, okay, my spiritual master said that's what I'm doing. Or we should just like do it as a, like what many times, we do puja and these things, just like we have to do it. That's why, but not like a ritual, we should do it by our own heart. And that way actually will fructify more rather than just doing it casually, So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that our eternal constitution is the Jivere Swarupa hai Krishna and Nitya Das. So like, what is the Swarupa of Jiva is to become servant of the Lord, Supreme Lord, and perform it very nicely. Like water's dharma is liquidity. The sugar's dharma is sweetness. Nobody can take it, can never be taken away from it. Salt's dharma is the saltiness, So this is the dharma. Our dharma is to actually serving the Lord. And we see that Krishna comes on, because once we serve a Lord, then Krishna doesn't give devotional service that easily, because once Krishna gives devotional service, actually Krishna becomes sometimes subordinate to his devotees also. Krishna says that I am not independent, actually. I am under control of my devotees. So he tells this thing to Durvasa Muni when he actually gave the shrap to Amrish Maharaj, actually. And then Durvasa Muni actually pulled out his hair, and from hair, the fiery demon came in. He was changing, but Parikshit Maharaj, Amrish Maharaj sitting at one place and remembering Krishna, he was not afraid because he has full faith in Krishna, whatever Krishna does, So he was sitting, and that fiery demon actually by Lord's will, it went behind Durvasa Muni, and Durvasa Muni was running in all the planets, He went to Lord Shiva, he went to everybody, he went to Brahmaji. Nobody could help, actually. And ultimately he went to Lord Vishnu, and Lord Vishnu told him that, okay, you go back to Amrish Maharaj and beg pardon from him. He can only excuse you, not me, because I'm under control of my devotees. So this is the Krishna's position, actually, how Krishna thinks. And we can see the example that that Mother Yashoda actually bind Lord Krishna. How somebody can bind Krishna with ropes? Nobody can do that. He is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is the owner of all three worlds, actually. How he can be bound by, but he was bound by the love of Mother Yashoda, not otherwise he cannot bind. And he agrees to take the position of chariot driver for Arjuna. He became the Dwarpal of Bali Maharaj, because Bali Maharaj actually gave everything what he possessed, so he did Atma Samarpan, actually. So Atma Nivedanam, that is the last ninth type of devotional service. So there are so many Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam. So all these things are there. So, but Amrish Maharaj actually was so great that he was doing all 9 kind of bhakti, all 9 types of bhakti, actually. So he was great soul. So actually, Arjuna said that take my chariot in the middle of both armies, and the Krishna actually, as a Parthasarthi, he followed his order, So how Krishna actually follows the order of his devotees sometime, that if the devotee is so pure, although he's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. In the Brahma Samhita, he says, Ishvara Paramakrishna Satchidananda, Satchit Ananda Vigraha Anadi Adi Govinda Sarva Karana. Karana, he is the cause of all the causes. So that is Supreme Personality. He loves all of us, actually. Nobody can ask Krishna, please can you give me ride to the airport? Can somebody ask Krishna like that? But Krishna himself, willingly takes the position of the chariot driver for Arjuna, because he was pure devotee. So although Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, he behaves like a servant of his pure devotees. And the pure devotees actually does not see Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And Krishna also does not see himself in front of his devotees like the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So that's the way he can enjoy this word. Krishna says, Ye yatha mam prapadyante tam tathaiva bhajamiham. So Krishna reciprocates with the devotee according to the dedication of his devotee, how much devotee is dedicated to Krishna. So Krishna gives that much of his mercy. So the more serious we are in Krishna's bhakti, Krishna will be more seriously, giving his mercy to us. So we have to be more serious in our bhakti, then we can get Krishna's mercy more and more. So our bhakti should be at the level, of full surrender, full Sharanagati. So we may have material motivations, and at the same time, we are in the stage of the devotional service. We are performing some devotional service also, but we are having material motivation also. So if we have material motivations, then we are not pure devotees of Krishna. So it's hard actually to get Krishna's mercy at that point. So we have to purify ourselves by listening, hearing more and more Krishna Katha. and we have to, every morning we should actually recite the Shishtastakam before we start our chanting, because that will make our heart more sharp. Because very nice shlokas like Nadhanam Nadan Janam Na Sundarim Kavitam Va Jagdisha Kamaye, and also Tranada Pisune Chena Taro Rivu Saishna Amani Namani Dena Kirtaniya Sadahari. So if you follow this kind of things in our life, then actually we can become advance more and more. If you think, we are great devotees, but we should think about like we are worse than the straw on the street, actually. And we should tolerate all the tribulations comes in our life. And with devotional service, many people time we think, okay, I'm chanting, and by my chanting, if I do something small thing, bad also, Krishna will excuse me, but that's the kind of business, that we are doing something on the name of, so we are doing the nama aparad actually, and when name of chanting, so we are doing nama aparad. So we should be actually like thinking, about that we don't do any nama aparad. So then our chanting will be pure. Otherwise, if we are committing offenses on the name of the chanting, that will take away the effect of chanting. So we should not want anything in exchange of our devotional service, that okay, I'm doing this, so Lord should give me this. Many people, like in India, I see many times people say, oh, I take this, that if Krishna gives me this thing, then I will do the Satnarayana Puja, or I will do the fasting for this day, so that's a business, you don't do that in some expectation that Krishna will give me this thing. We just do without any expectation from Krishna. And other thing about tribulations, they are imposed on the devotees. So devotees are put into trouble, and the main reason Krishna does that to purify them, so they can actually depend fully on Krishna, and that way they can perform their devotional service. Actually, these tribulations are not to punish the devotee. Many times say, I'm chanting for so many years and now Krishna is giving me this, he's punishing me or something. Krishna is not punishing, he loves all of us actually, it's our thinking that way, it's not Krishna. So Krishna, we are actually, as a devotee, devotees are very special for Krishna. And he puts them in some difficulty, but that's a special mercy actually on us. That's the way we should think. And we should actually continue our bhakti without thinking that why these tribulations are coming in our life, and have full faith in Krishna. So we will get ultimately more bhakti and full mercy of Krishna, so we can progress further in our bhakti. So I will end here, and if there are any questions, comments, or any thing, please, we can discuss that now. Thank you very much for listening. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you very much for the class, Prabhuji. I really like the point about you cannot become happy as long as you're trying to be happy. As long as we are trying to mitigate the miseries, we will only become more and more miserable. So this is said by Prahlad Maharaj also. Only when we stop trying to be happy, when we give up trying to become happy, that's when we actually become happy. So thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Master. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Ram Sham Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji, Dhanavad Pranam, all goes to Srila Prabhupada, Guru Maharaj ki jai.
Hare Krishna.
Prabhuji, so it was really wonderful class, Prabhuji. So it was pretty much you cover many points. The points were very like nectarian, which you glorified about how Lord Krishna shower the mercy, like for that those who are doing the devotional services. Like you gave the example of Ambarish Maharaj, who was doing all the ninefold devotional services. Like, so we have to be taking this similar kind of practice. We have to do that, so that like we can progress in our bhakti as well. Like we also, if not all ninefold devotional service as Ambarish Maharaj did, so you also give the example for Bali Maharaj. So that is the Atma Nivedanam. So Krishna also says in the Bhagavad Gita to surrender unto him. So so that was really touching and very good, and it helps in the progressing the bhakti. And lastly, you also mentioned for that Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that in the Sikshashtaka, like Pranadapi Sunichena. So it's a really wonderful project. So as much as we can implement in our day-to-day sadhana, behavior, and practice, so that will enhance in our devotional practices. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you very much, Prabhu. The importance of devotional service came through loud and clear. The one question was, you said it's not right to have a transactional, you say, Krishna, give me this and I will do that. Don't do it. Don't make it a business. So is it better than to just ask him outright? I know that is still a lower level devotee who goes to Krishna asking for something, going for money or whatever it is. But is that still better than, or are they equally bad?
No, Krishna is our father, actually, Supreme Father. So we ask him, if you really need something, and actually we expect that Krishna should give me, then we can ask. But we should not put condition that if you do this, then only I will do this, So many people say, oh, no, I did the mantra for this thing, and Krishna fulfilled that. So now I'm doing this, So that's a conditional, we should not do. We should continue our bhakti. And if we need something, we should ask Krishna. We should approach Krishna. So that is the best thing. If we want something to ask, Actually, devotee should not ask for that's a perfect thing. Whatever Krishna gives, we should be satisfied. But still, as we are in material life, material world, and we still want something, we should ask Krishna rather than putting condition on our bhakti. Yes, Mataji. Vindhyachali Mataji.
Hare Krishna Prabhu. Thank you very much for the nice class. But I have only one feeling with Krishna. I put my devotees into difficulty. And thus the devotee becomes more purified and exchange transcendental bhava with me. So other than that, why he should give only difficulties and he can do so many things to us. So I just feel that.
No, Krishna actually, difficulties are also due to our past karmas also, but Krishna tries to burn them away, and very little, like in Bhagavatam, there is a shlok, that it's like a hoof print of the, rather than crossing whole ocean, he just gives the trouble that we just crossed a small hoof print of cow's feet, so that is small place we have to. So that way he gives difficulty just to test us, that we are really serious and have full faith him or not. He doesn't give too much difficulty, to his devotees. And even if he gives, he sees that how tolerant he is, Tranadapi Sunachena. So how tolerant he is. And that way Krishna, once he knows, that this is my pure devotee, he will shower his mercy always. So we can see the devotees, like Haridas Thakur, ultimately in the Mahaprakash Leela, he called him and he said, okay, ask what you want to know, what you want to get, so this kind of thing, so he fulfills the devotee desire also. It's not just he's giving trouble to the devotees, it's just pure, so we can get more and more purified and we can have more and more faith on Krishna. So that is the Krishna's will, and we should take it as such, rather than questioning Krishna, why you are giving trouble. That's not proper.
Thank you very much.
Anyone else has any questions or comments. Otherwise, we will end here. So one chapel. Yes, Mataji, go ahead.
Just in response to what Mataji, Shobharade Mataji said about offering something to Krishna in return. So that devotees don't do. But when we have a desire, as you said, you just go to the Father and ask. And when Krishna fulfills it, it is natural for the devotee to offer so many things to Krishna out of gratitude. So it is not like doing it like a business, like we see in the case of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's parents, Jagannath Mishra, Sachimata. They really wanted a child. And when they actually got Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, and when they realized also when he was growing up as a small baby, they saw these footprints of the Supreme Lord on the floor. When Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ran inside, they saw, so they didn't know it was Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, of course. They thought their Shaligram Shila was running around in the house. So out of gratitude, they did so much more. They started worshipping, increased the standard of their worship. So it is natural for us to offer gifts and do extra services to Krishna, when we feel Krishna's special mercy flowing towards us. So that shouldn't be an obstacle if we want to do more. But yeah, as you said, offering something in exchange like a business deal, that we shouldn't do. Just remember that, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. I think again and again it comes back down to consciousness. It is in what consciousness we do anything that we do is what is important. Thank you very much.
Yes, thank you, Mataji.
Thank you very much, Kaivalya Prabhu. Very nice class, lots of points for us to think about, and a nice discussion. So we will meet again tomorrow morning at 7:50 for another wonderful class.
Vanchakalpatarubhyasya krapasindubhyev vacha
Sindhu cha patitanam
Vaishnavebhyo namo namaha.
Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.